Hello and welcome back to Through the Curry Hole with me, Lauren. I am back. It is January, it is 2025. Happy New Year. Hope you all had a lovely Christmas and New Year and a well-deserved break. Today's episode is going to be a little bit about like the new year, setting New Year's goals, what some of my goals are, things that I'm leaving behind in 2024, fingers crossed, and things that I'm bringing from 2024 into 2025. So this can be like a bit of a controversial one. Some people are really against this whole like new year, new me, New Year's resolutions, blah, blah, blah. I personally love a bit of a reset and I always set myself goals. So I don't really like the word New Year's resolutions. I don't like that resolution thing. I don't like sort of saying like, as of the first, I'm going to be this, and this, and I'm going to do this, and this, because it just doesn't happen. So I really love to set goals for the whole year. I take part in a goal setting workshop every year. I have done for 3 years now with Francesca Amber, who runs Law of Attraction Changed My Life. If you're ever interested in doing something like that, then yeah, definitely follow her. But yeah, I just love setting goals and like realistic goals and intentions for the year, because to be honest, like for me, it just means growth. It doesn't mean you've got to tick everything off. It doesn't mean you've got to put like extra pressure on yourself. But I just think, say you set 10 goals and by the end of the year you reached 5 of them, don't see it as a negative, like, oh, I didn't do all 10, because maybe that wasn't the year for you to hit that goal. But it's a positive, like you've grown from them 5 things or 2 things or even 1 thing that you have accomplished. For me, it's all about bettering myself, making improvements to my life, my daily routine, having intentions and something to keep me motivated. So I know that a lot of people on Instagram, I've seen this recently, who say, don't be pressurized by people making their goals and, do what you want. Don't follow sort of like this whole goal setting, new year, new me thing. But I don't think it's out there for people to feel like intimidated by it. I think it's for people to hold themselves accountable. So I will hold myself accountable because I'm going to share some of my goals and things that I want to keep in 2025, so that I hold myself totally accountable for what I've put out there and for my goals. And so when you see these things on social media, I wouldn't be put off. I wouldn't feel like I'm not good enough. I haven't, set so many goals. I haven't reached so many goals. I generally think it's for that person to really hold themselves accountable. And sometimes it can like inspire other people to set goals and change things about their own routines, etc. But yeah, I don't think it's out there to create like extra pressure, and that certainly isn't why I share mine. So as I said before, I always try to set like main goals for the year, but then I'll set smaller goals that will help me reach the bigger goal. So for instance, say I wanted to lose weight. I'm just putting that one out there because that's quite a typical one for the new year. But I would be like, right, so I want to lose weight, or I want to maintain my weight this year, whatever it might be. And then my smaller intentions or my smaller goals to hit that bigger goal would be, for instance, mine are to walk 3 times a week. Like that is doable. It's doable for me to walk 3 times a week. I'm not going to put it out there to walk 5, 6, 7 times a week because it's not realistic. So I'll say 3 times a week. If I do more, great. If I do less, is what it is. But 3 is like a nice number. I've put that I would like to work out 3 times a week. For me, that's doable. For someone else, it might not be doable. But for me, I know that them small little goals will help me towards the bigger goal of either maintaining my weight or, fingers crossed, losing a little bit of weight ready for getting married in September. So yeah, I would say look at the bigger goal and then think about smaller goals that you can put in place to achieve the bigger one. And then even if you didn't achieve the bigger one, you're going to hit the smaller ones. Even if you didn't hit them all, you're still going to hit some of them. So it's an achievement. As I said, I don't hold it against myself if I don't reach all of my goals. So I will write a big list of goals. It might be like brands I'd like to work with, things that I want to accomplish in my personal life. I'll have quite a decent sized list of goals or things that I would like to achieve by the end of the year. But if I don't achieve them, I don't hold it against myself, because I just think when you put too much pressure on yourself, that's when you don't hit any goals and you just give up on everything. So I would rather set these big goals, know that I'm not going to feel guilty if I don't hit them all, and maybe it wasn't the right time for me to hit them all. But as long as I am ticking a few off, a couple every quarter, half of them, or even less than half at the end of the year, then it's still an accomplishment because I've ticked some off. And yeah, I'm not going to ever hold myself sort of like in a negative way because I haven't reached all my goals, because we're only human. There's only so much we can do. I always list everything so that I can tick them off when they're done. So I love, like, for me, I love a piece of paper and a pen. I don't really use my computer to log information or anything like that. I absolutely love a notepad and a pen, and I'll write everything down, all my goals down on a big list, and then I'll tick them off. And there is nothing better, personally, sad I'm over here, there's nothing better than ticking off a list of things that you've achieved. So I would definitely recommend doing it that way. You might want to do it on your phone, like as notes, when you get like the little square and you tick it off. To me, that just doesn't give me the satisfaction of going back to a book, going back to that page, going through and like, I'll not tick it off or I'll cross it off, and it just feels like you're seeing progress like in front of your eyes. So yeah, I would recommend doing that. But some people are not dinosaurs like me and they've moved forward and they use technology, but it just isn't for me personally. So I'm going to start off with the more sort of negative one, which is things that I am leaving behind in 2024. So things that I don't want to carry forward with me into 2025. I want to say goodbye to them and try and move forward in a positive way in these areas. So I am leaving behind being and feeling unwell. So for those who have followed me on Instagram and have listened to my endometriosis story podcast episode on here, I have been quite unwell in 2024. I was diagnosed with endometriosis. I had 2 large cysts on both ovaries. They were stuck together. My womb was stuck to my bowel. My tubes stuck to my bowel. Everything was just stuck together in quite a mess. And I was in a lot of pain. I managed to get quite a quick diagnosis. I was quite lucky, and I think it was because of my cysts, because it just caused so many awful symptoms. But I'm just done with that. I had my operation. I'm feeling a lot better. I know that it's potentially just the start because my endometriosis is quite severe. But I've had the operation and I'm feeling so much better. I'm feeling so much more healthy in my mind, in my emotional state, in my body. Like, everything feels better. So I'm leaving that behind. I don't want to take that with me. Fingers crossed, 2025 is going to be a much healthier year. I'm saying goodbye to feeling like crap, basically. Not exercising then comes off the back of that. So I love to work out. It's one of my favorite things. It makes me feel so much better in my mind, but I haven't been able to work out as much because of being unwell. Firstly, it was really affecting my body, and obviously having the operation, I had a open surgery, so it was a long recovery, and I am planning to go back to working out in the next couple of days, and I just cannot wait to get back into it. So that's something else I'm leaving behind. Not exercising, sitting on my bum all day. That is so 2024. So I'm moving forward and I'm going to be exercising again. Imposter syndrome, I get this every so often, whatever one. And with my social media account, I just, sometimes really let it get on top of me, and I feel like my account isn't good enough, my content's not good enough, I'm not good enough, like other people are so much better than me. I might look at like certain accounts or certain content and just think, they're absolutely smashing it. Like, why is theirs smashing it and mine is doing really well, but it's not at the same level? Like, why can't I get there? Like, why are my followers not as high as this person's followers? Like, it really gets on top of me. And like, I'll record content for brands and then I'll be so paranoid that it's going to be terrible and they're going to hate it. And yeah, I'm trying to leave that behind in 2024 because it's just such a negative mindset and I don't want that for this year. I really want to believe in myself, believe that I can do it, and believe what I'm doing is enough. And yeah, I just need to leave that imposter syndrome behind. I think so many people get it for so many different reasons and for so many different things, and mine is definitely my Instagram account. I just feel like, yeah, I need to believe in myself a little bit more. And then that leads me on to things that I'm taking with me. So things that I've done in 2024, routines and stuff that I've set that I want to bring forward into 2025. Things that have really, really worked for me. So daily to-do lists, swear by them, love them, cannot get on with my day unless I have got a daily to-do list. Again, notepad and pen, write them all down, tick them off, cross them off. I know I've had a good day. I am taking that with me into 2025 because it's just been an absolute game changer for me. It literally keeps me motivated, on track. I am one of them people who can very easily sit on the sofa all day, watch Loose Women and not do anything, just scroll mindlessly. Like, I can easily do that. Like, I'm not pretending that I'm anything other than that. But for me, setting myself my daily to-do lists just motivates me and gets me doing things and up. And I just could not live without them, in all honesty. Switching off from my phone and reading has changed my life for the better. I love reading. So in the last 3 months, so since I've had my operation, I've started reading again. I used to love reading. I haven't read in years, but I've picked up a book and I've read, I think this is my 6th one that I'm on now. And I'm just absolutely loving it. I love putting my phone down, putting it on charge, putting it away, sitting down with a book and just reading. And when a book is good and you get into it, you know, like, you just can't stop reading it. I absolutely love it. So that's something I definitely want to carry forward with me into 2025. Definitely more books. Definitely going to be boring people with some more book recommendations on Instagram because, yeah, I'm just really into it at the moment and I just really hope that that continues. Walking is another one. I love walking, switching off again from my phone, putting on a podcast and walking. I always feel better after a walk. It gets me out of the house. Where I work from home, it's really, really beneficial to me. Even if it's like a 20-minute walk, normally I try to do about 40 to 45 minutes 3 times a week. And it just makes me feel so much better. And yeah, that's something I definitely need to carry forward with me for not only health and body and trying to maintain a good weight for the wedding and the hen do and all of that stuff, but just for my mind, getting out of the house, going for a walk, you just can't beat it. Posting consistently on set days. So I did this for pretty much the whole of 2024. Sometimes I didn't when I was feeling very poorly, but Monday to Friday, that's not right. Friday to Monday, I post, and that works for me. And it's set days, and I know what I'm doing. Sometimes the odd brand might fall on another day in the week. It just depends. But I generally try to aim for 4 posts a week, Friday to Monday. And that has been a game changer because I know exactly what I'm doing. I can plan my content. I can get it sort of recorded and filmed beforehand, and then I'm ready to go on the weekend. And yeah, it really works for me. So I definitely want to carry that on into the new year. Pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I did a lot of that last year when I could and I was well enough. I said yes to events. I said yes to things that I never would have done. I went on a retreat with my management, with people that I'd only met a handful of times and people that I'd not met at all. And for me, that was hugely out of my comfort zone. But I did it. I was very ill for it. I wasn't myself at all, but I did it. I went. I conquered a fear of driving. on A roads. I drove from my house in Essex to Oxford. Yeah, I think it was Oxfordshire, by myself. Don't know how I did it, but I did it. And I want to carry that on in this year. I want to say yes to more opportunities, more things that are out of my comfort zone. Even starting this podcast, for me, that was so out of my comfort zone. And now it feels a lot more comfortable to me. I'm still getting used to it. I'm still not the best. I still need to improve it a lot. But here I am and I'm doing it. And I just would have never done anything like this before, ever. Another one, and probably my last thing that I would like to take with me, is listening to my body. As a woman, obviously, you have a cycle, and there is something called cyclical living. I think that's how you say it. And you basically live around your cycle and the weeks of your cycle and how you're going to be feeling. And I really want to continue doing this. And for me, it's in terms of when I'm the most productive and when I'm obviously on my period. With having endometriosis, it's not always pleasant. And rather than pushing myself too far and making myself feel worse, the last few months since having my operation, on day 1 and day 2, I generally don't do anything. I generally just sit. And I know not everyone can do that, and I'm very fortunate that I work from home and that I can do that. But I literally have just thought, no, like, beyond things that I need to do, like wash and brush my teeth and eat something, I literally sit down and I don't make myself feel guilty for doing that. I have to listen to my body, because yeah, there's been times last year where I pushed myself too far and was very unwell because of it. And yeah, I just really need to listen to my body this year. And yeah, I think that'll be so much better for me in my productivity as well, and being motivated. I think that will really, really work for me. Now, on to some of my goals for the year, some personal goals that I've set for myself. I'm just going to share a few. I'm not going to share them all. So it's to save for our wedding and get married. So that one seems like peculiar because obviously it's booked, so we're getting married. But to be able to save for it, save money, pay everything off, and like get to our wedding and have the best wedding. That is one of my goals. So that's one I know I'm going to tick off. Whether I've saved for it is another thing, but we're definitely getting married because it's booked. I want to work on my hormone balance. So I've started to take like a supplement thing to help with my balance. I just want to try and do anything I can to make my life easier, especially around my period. So I'm going to work on my hormone balance a little bit better, and my overall body balance. Just want to feel the best I can feel. I want to go to at least 5 PR days or strategy days with my management team. So over the year, 5 seems doable. So that is one of my goals. I would like to start monetizing Facebook and TikTok. Whether I do, I don't know, because I do tend to really focus on my Instagram. I find TikTok hard to keep on top of, and Facebook for me, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. So whether I will even reach that in this year, who knows? But if I don't, then I'll carry it on to the next year. It's not a problem. I want to book, which I actually have done this already, and have an amazing hen do. I've booked Mykonos with my friends for my hen do. So that's half ticked off already, which I'm really happy with. I would love to get an automatic car by the end of the year, because my partner's got an automatic and I've got a manual, and I've never driven an automatic until he got this car. And wow, what a game changer. Why have I been wasting my time? I have no idea. So I would really like to get an automatic car by the end of the year. I would love to finish our renovation. There's a few tasks and jobs that need to be done. I have a post on my Instagram if you want to see what they are. It's quite a list. Whether I'm going to get it all done, I don't know. But please, we've been in this house almost 4 years. I really want to get this renovation finished this year. Please, putting it out to the universe. Let's get it finished. And then I really want a side gate, a new side gate on our house. Yeah, basically, I want a new side gate on our house, and that is one of my goals. So yeah, a random one, but for me, that is one of my goals. And when we get a new side gate, it'll be a game changer. So that goes on the list. So as you can see, some of them are bigger than others, some are smaller than others. That is not all of my goals. I have a very, very long list. But I just wanted to make this episode just to maybe help inspire people to set their own goals for 2025 and not to see it as a resolution and, oh my God, I need to change everything about myself on the 1st of January. I don't do anything until the first week of January. So if New Year's falls on a Monday, I'm not doing anything to the following Monday, like in terms of my goals. And I spend the first few days really just making notes and making lists and coming up with ideas and setting intentions. I'm not like going mental and doing everything all at once. Don't think of the new year goal setting thing as setting yourself up to fail. Don't overwhelm yourself, but also think of it as growth, no matter how many you achieve, whether that's 1, 2, or all of them. Whatever you achieve is an achievement. So yeah, that is my advice when setting goals and moving into a new year. But yes, that is it for today. I will be back next week, fingers crossed, with a guest episode. I have an amazing guest lined up, a really good, funny guest. And yeah, I'm really excited for this year with the podcast. I am hopefully, fingers crossed, going to bring you a lot more sort of like tips, like home tips and renovation tips, and lots more interviews of other home accounts that you want to hear from. But any ideas you have, anything you want me to cover, anything you'd like me to do an episode on, whatever it might be, like please drop me a message in the comments or on the on Spotify if you're listening on Spotify, or I might post on YouTube. I don't know if I'm going to post on YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube, then in the comments there, or drop me a message on Instagram. I am at @the_cubbyhole, also on TikTok as well, but yeah, as I said, not as great. Also on Facebook too. Give me a follow on there. But yeah, I'll be back next week for another episode of Through the Cubbyhole.